All right, today we're cracking open a really fascinating automotive mystery. It's a story that's got everything: ambition, a little bit of Hollywood fame, some serious failure, and yeah, a staggering price tag. So let's get right into it. How in the world did a Toyota from the 1960s become one of the most valuable collector cars on the entire planet? It all starts with this number right here: $2,535,000. On March 4th, 2022, this exact car, a 1967 Toyota Shelby 2000 GT, sold at auction for over $2.5 million bucks. And just like that, it became the most expensive Japanese car ever sold. Period. So you gotta ask, how did this happen? I mean, this wasn't some forgotten car found in a barn that just got lucky. No way. The journey to that price tag is a story that's been unfolding for over 50 years, and we're gonna piece together all the clues to solve this incredible automotive puzzle. Okay, so our first clue, it's all about the car's reason for being. This was not your average passenger car. See, in the mid-1960s, Japan was ready to make a huge statement to the rest of the automotive world. Think about it. Back then, the phrase "made in Japan" just didn't have the reputation for quality that we know today. Toyota knew they needed what's called a halo car, basically a masterpiece of design and technology that would make their whole brand look good. And who were they aiming for? Oh, just the legends of the day, cars like the Jaguar E-Type. And wow, the result was just breathtaking. It perfectly showed off their ambition. On the left, you can see that smooth, flowing body, designed in-house by Satoru Nozaki. It's just undeniably gorgeous. But on the right, you see the real substance behind the style: a super modern X-shaped backbone frame, kind of like what Lotus was using, which gave the car incredible strength. Now here is where it gets really interesting. Toyota didn't actually do it all by themselves. They partnered up with a company famous for motorcycles and pianos. Yamaha, that's right. Yamaha handled the high-performance engine tuning, all the detailed engineering, and they even hand-assembled every single one of these cars. And believe me, this thing was not just a pretty face. The spec sheet proves it. For 1967, this was absolutely cutting-edge stuff. A powerful double overhead cam engine, disc brakes on all four wheels, fully independent suspension. I mean, these were features you expected to find on elite European sports cars, not a Toyota. So Toyota had built a truly world-class car. But our next clue is all about how they proved it. It's not enough to build it. You have to build the legend. And they did it with a classic 1-2 punch: raw performance and a little help from Hollywood. You can just watch the legend get built right here on this timeline. In '66, before the car was even available to the public, they took a prototype to the Yatabei Speed Trials. In this grueling 72-hour run, it smashed 3 world records and set 13 international ones. A year later, bam, it's a global star as a Bond car, and you only live twice. And by '68, it was racing in America. And that American racing part of the story, it has this amazing twist. Toyota wanted to compete in the SCCA series, and the guy who convinced them he could make the 2000 GT a winner was none other than the American legend himself, Carroll Shelby. Yep, the same guy behind the Shelby Cobra and the Mustang. And of course, you just can't talk about the 2000 GT without talking about James Bond. It became an instant icon, and you only live twice. But the famous convertible version, that was basically a happy accident. The producers realized Sean Connery, who was 6'2", literally couldn't fit inside the tiny coupe. So Toyota's team just chopped the roof off 2 cars in just 2 weeks to create those priceless open-top models for the film. So let's recap. We've got a beautiful, technically advanced car with a proven racing and movie history. Sounds like a recipe for a smashing success, right? Well, here comes the big twist. This is the clue that makes this whole story so ironic. The Toyota 2000 GT was a massive, massive commercial failure. 351. That's it. That is the total number of 2000 GTs ever made before Toyota just pulled the plug in 1970. To put that into perspective for you, Ferrari built more of its legendary 250 GTOs. This car is unbelievably rare. So why did it sell so badly? Well, the reason is right here: sticker shock. In 1967, a brand new 2000 GT cost over $7,000. As you can see, that price absolutely dwarfed its competition. It was way more expensive than a Corvette, a Porsche 911, or even its main rival, the Jaguar E-Type. So here's the crucial point. American buyers just weren't ready to pay a premium price for a Japanese sports car, no matter how good it was. Out of that whole production run, only 62 cars were sold in the US. And here's the irony. Its failure in the showroom is the direct cause of the extreme rarity that makes it so valuable today. Okay, this brings us to the final part of our mystery. We've got the bold vision, we've got the proven pedigree, and we have that accidental rarity. So now, let's add the last, most crucial piece of the puzzle that connects its past failure to its present-day fortune. This chart right here from the automotive intelligence firm Rarity really tells the story. See, the whole collector car market is changing. For decades, it was the baby boomers who decided what was valuable. But now it's Gen X collectors who've become the biggest force in the market. And why does that matter so much? Because this new generation, well, they grew up with a completely different set of hero cars. They don't have those old biases against Japanese cars. They're the ones who grew up playing Gran Turismo, who had posters of Supras and NSXs on their bedroom walls. They see the 2000 GT for exactly what it is, Japan's first, and you could argue, its most beautiful supercar. And that legacy is incredibly powerful. The 2000 GT was the car that proved Toyota could build a performance machine to take on the entire world. It literally created a direct bloodline that runs through legends like the Supra and leads all the way to modern halo cars like the incredible V10-powered Lexus LFA. So the mystery is solved. The recipe for a multi-million-dollar Toyota needed all of these ingredients, just marinating for 50 years. You needed that bold vision, a legendary history on the track and on the screen, the accidental rarity caused by its own failure, and finally, the arrival of a whole new generation of collectors who are ready to recognize its true place in history. Which really leaves us with one last thought to chew on. The 2000 GT was a total flop in the showroom, but it's an absolute triumph in the history books. It really makes you wonder, what truly defines an icon's worth? Is it the immediate success, or is it the legacy that only time can reveal?